What's up guys, my name is Coach Nate and I am joined by Coach Heber and Coach Matt, and today we're going to be showing you guys some fun drills, games, tips, and tricks, so stay tuned. I've been playing for about 10 years and I've been coaching with Utah Youth Tennis for 6. My favorite shot is the inside-out forehand.
What's up guys, I'm Coach Matt from UYT. I've been coaching for them for 2 years and I've been playing tennis for about 10 years. My favorite shot is the down-the-line forehand.
Hey guys, my name's Coach Heber Martinez. I've been coaching with UYT for about 2 years. I've been playing tennis for about 8 years now. One of my favorite ground strokes is the backhand down the line.
We're now going to be talking about the forehand ground stroke. This is probably the shot you're going to hit the most of in tennis. The forehand ground stroke is when that ball comes onto the right side of the court for you right-handed players. If you're lefty, it's when the ball is coming onto the left side of your court, okay? With the forehand, you want to make sure you're coming low to high. A good rule of thumb is using the C-swing. The C-swing works like this, where your racket comes up high, it drops just below the wrist, the racket head, and then you swing up and through the ball. And as you can see, you're making a nice C with your ground stroke. It's really important you make contact out in front and you have this space between you and your racket. If you're making contact, what I call parallel to your body, you're going to end up getting crammed a lot of the times, losing power and control. The grip for the forehand, there's maybe 2 grips you can use. The first being continental, which feels like that hammerhead. And the second one you could use is eastern or western grip, which is where that racket turns just a little in your hand. So it's maybe slanted a little. So either of these 3 grips will be great for the forehand. We're gonna try a couple out with Matt feeding so you can see the forehand in action. So you'll notice my racket comes high, then it drops low, and then comes up through the ball with this C swing. So that is the forehand. A couple pro tips: make sure you're using more of your body than your arm to add power, and make sure your wrist is snapping through the ball. And that is how you hit forehand.
Hey guys, today we're going to be talking a little bit more about backhands, and for those of you who don't know what a backhand is, right, it's whenever the ball will come on for those righty players on that left side of you, right, instead of hitting a forehand, we'll be hitting what is called the backhand. For those lefties, it'd be on your right side. The grip we're holding is continental grip, right, that one's the hammerhead, right, or right, for the serves, for volleys, for backhands, that's the kind of grip we're going to be holding. For those two-handed backhands, we're going to be putting that left hand comfortably under that racket about right here, right? We don't want to go too much under or too much over, because then that racket angle will be either face down or face too high up to the sky, right? When we go back for our backhands, we got to make sure we're split stepping. We recognize it's coming to our backhand side, right? We have that unit turn and kind of just turn our bodies, making sure that racket kind of just stays up. As we follow through that path, we want to create a C, right? If you look at that top of that racket head, comes out right here. I come down. I want to make sure I drop my wrists and I drop that racket head coming down. That's going to create lag, which is going to create that power for my backhand side. And I come. When I hit that backhand, I want to make sure I'm hitting a little bit out in front of me, right? We never really want to be behind us, right? And even to the right next to us. Right, just a little bit more out in front of us, following through, right? What I like to tell kids a lot is we're gonna be kissing our biceps, right, for that follow through, right over here, mwah, right? So Coach Matt's gonna help me out feeding, right? One big tip for your backhand is to involve that left hand just a little bit more. And if you follow through and really focus on getting that wrist drop, getting that lag over it, you'll be having a killer backhand.
Hey guys, this is Coach Matt. We're going to be going over the volley today. Most important thing for the volley is the grip, making sure that we're using a continental grip. The easiest way to find this grip is to grab your racket like this and slide your hand all the way down to the bottom of the racket and making a kind of a V pointing up the racket like that. With the volley, we're going to make sure that we're not swinging on it, but that we're really just punching the ball. Another thing is that we're going to making sure that we're using our legs. If we're hitting a forehand volley, we're making sure we're stepping with that opposite leg. So for you right-handed players, you're going to be stepping with your left leg forward into the ball while you're punching, with the right hand stepping with your right leg. The backhand volley is going to be on the other side. You're still going to be using one hand. You're going to cross over and With your other hand on the racket, you're kind of pulling your hands apart while you're doing it. Still just punching that ball, making sure we're not swinging. Another thing too with some of these lower volleys is that we're making sure that our wrist is below the head of the racket. A lot of times we have this tendency to hit these lazy volleys where you drop our racket like that, and that ends up dumping the ball into the net. So making sure that we're getting our knees all the way down and keeping our wrist below the head of the racket. So we're gonna have Heber feed me a couple volleys so we can demonstrate. All right, so just keeping it simple, right? Just punching through the ball, keeping it simple, a couple backhands. And just making sure that we're stepping into the ball every time, right? We're using our body to generate power on the ball. When we step back, that's when the ball is gonna go into the net. When we're at the net too, we gotta make sure that we're moving our feet fast, right? We don't have a lot of time to react. So if we make sure that we're split stepping, staying on our toes, we can get to the ball fast every time. All right guys, and that's the volley.
One of our final strokes we'll be talking about is the overhead. Now, a lot of novice players are gonna end up missing the overhead because they don't know proper form. So we're gonna be talking about proper form and some things you can do to properly hit your overheads and make sure you secure the point when you should. The first thing you need to do is recognize it's an overhead. Once you see the ball get popped up, make sure you get that unit turn so your body is closed off from the net. Similar to the serve, you want to be following your serve form, which is your left hand up with your racket back here behind your head, almost being able to tap the back of your head with the strings. This is just like the serve form, and it's going to allow you to have a proper overhead, okay? Make sure you follow through. You don't want to be stopping right on contact and freezing. We're now going to have Matt feed a couple balls so you can properly see correct form on the overhead. That's pretty. Sorry, Matt. So one thing with the overhead, you don't want to force through the ball or muscle your way through the ball. Instead, you want a nice smooth swing going through the ball, if that makes sense. One thing with the overhead as well is you can hit different types of overheads. You don't just have to smack the ball as hard as you can. For example, I'll have Matt feed a couple and I'll be working on placing my overhead out wide. So nice and easy, not a lot of power or effort. I'm just placing the ball out wide. So that way my opponent has a harder time getting to it. And one more. Bonus points if you can get an overhead out of the court. Oh my goodness, one more. And that is how you properly hit your overheads.
Hey guys, I'm here and we're gonna talk a little bit about the slice. Okay, with the slice, it's a really great shot to kind of add variety to your game. When we're slicing, one of the most important parts, right, obviously we're gonna be holding it in continental grip right here, or the hammerhead right here, our knuckles right here on this side of the racket. When we're going with that slice, we wanna make sure we're having our angled, that our racket face a little bit more angled. So that's gonna create that backspin, and it's gonna help us get that really slice motion with that. When I'm driving through that ball, I wanna make sure that I'm driving with my elbow right here through that ball. I'm looking at the ball over my shoulder right here and driving it, like I said, with that elbow right here. When I make contact with the ball, I'm driving through it, keeping that angle with that racket. Like I said, it's gonna help us generate that backspin. When that's for height-wise over that net, we wanna keep that a good 2-3 feet over that net. Like I said, still driving through that ball right here. With this other hand, for stability reasons, we can go ahead and kind of let that snap out. It'll help us stay stable with it through our shots, and it'll really add a little bit more power through those slices. Like I said, we're gonna drive through the ball right here, leading with our elbow a little bit more, getting that elbow worked in, focusing on driving through that ball. Sounds good, and that was the slice.
All right, guys, this is Coach Matt, and today we're gonna be working on serves. This first one's gonna be the slice serve. The slice serve is one of 3 serves. Now with the slice serve, you're gonna be hitting on the outside of the ball, and you're gonna be putting side spin on the ball. So as you go up in your motion, for left-handed players, if there was a clock right here, you'd be tossing the ball around 10 or 11 o'clock. And for right-handed players, you're gonna be tossing the ball around 1 or 2 o'clock. That way you can get around the outside of the ball and put side spin on it. Now for lefties, the spin tends to bring the ball to curve off to the right, and then for righties, it'll curve off to the left. So the serve can be used when you want to either pull an opponent off the court, or if you're serving on this other side, to pull into the middle.
Hey guys, so I'm going to be explaining a little bit, going over with the flat serve. With the flat serve, it's one of your faster serves. When we're going up for it, the motion that we kind of want, right? We kind of want to have that ball right above our heads, and we're focusing on coming really flat on that ball. Right? If you were to think about the ball as a clock, you're just going straight through in that middle of that clock right there. Reaching up as high as you can, obviously, and we're focusing on that, getting that pronation or that wrist snap. With the flat serve, as you can see, it'll cut through that court. It's like I said, it's one of our faster serves. It's also considered a little bit more of the inconsistent serve. So go out there, practice that fast serve. You'll be killing them out in the court.
All right, guys, it's Coach Nate, and we're gonna now be talking about the kick serve. To think about the kick serve, you want an upwards motion on the ball. So if we're thinking about a clock, you want to be at maybe about the 9 or 10 o'clock mark going out this way. Your goal is right on contact is to have a quick pronation up and out through the ball. The kick serve is really nice for a second serve because you do get that topspin, which means your ball will drop a little quicker. It looks a little like this. So that is the kick serve. Make sure you go out and try it and really look for that arched back so you have the most amount of upwards motion for your kick serve. What's up guys? Coach Nate here once again. We're gonna be showing you how to place your ball and aim your shot just a little bit more. There's a couple different ways you can visualize aiming your ball. One thing you need to keep in mind though is on contact, wherever your strings are pointed are where your ball is gonna go. So make sure your strings are pointed. If you wanna go cross court, make sure that contact is a little more out in front. If you want to go down the line, make sure your contact is maybe lagged a little bit behind. Another good way you can visualize this is wherever your shoulder is pointed when you're getting set up is generally where your ball is going to go. So if you want to go cross court, make sure you have just a little bit more of an open stance. If you want to go down the line, make sure you have a little bit more of a closed stance. And lastly, make sure on your follow through you push your arm where you want the ball to go. So if you're going cross court, you're going to push out wide, versus down the line, you're gonna push out and up a little more. We're gonna hit a couple practice balls so you can see this in action. So we're gonna start trying to go cross court with these balls. As you can see, for cross courts, I'm making contact just a little bit more out in front. I'm pointing my shoulder where I want that ball to go. And on my follow through, I'm really throwing my arm cross court to the side of me. Okay, we're now gonna be going down the line. For your down the line balls, you're gonna wanna make contact a little bit behind where you just were for cross court balls. And with my follow through, I'm really pushing my arm forward through the court to get it going down the line. Ooh. And that is how you're gonna aim your shot a whole lot better.
All right, this is Coach Matt from UYT, and we're gonna be working on topspin today. Topspin is the action of creating spin on the ball that's gonna bring the ball forward. And that spin allows the ball to go down more into the court and allows you to hit more pace on the ball. In order to generate topspin, there's a couple of small steps. The first and most important one is making sure that we're swinging from low to high, right? Swinging from low to high naturally, brings your strings up and puts spin over the ball. Another thing that I like to imagine is that my hand is almost like a windshield wiper, like I'm wiping over the ball. Some other couple things to note too is that we're making sure that we're stepping into the ball and using our legs, right? When we're able to bend our legs and jump into the ball, that's gonna use our body to create that topspin as well as our wrist and our arm too. We're gonna demonstrate us hitting topspin for a couple of balls. So for these balls, I'm making sure that I'm getting my racket underneath the ball first and then coming up over it so I can get it. Right, we need a racket head below the ball and then up over the ball. Also making sure that we get to the ball in time, load, and then come through the ball. Right, get our legs loaded up and then go through the ball. Holy Heber. Another thing that you can do to help generate that is to get your strings facing down towards the ground and then have them come up. So they're down and then they're up. Awesome, that's the topspin forehand.
Hey guys, I'm here with UYT Tennis. We're going to be talking a little bit about how I can generate a little bit more power on my shots. Right? When we're trying to generate more power, one simple thing to do is add a little bit more of your body into those shots. Rather than just trying to, swing it just with your arm, right? I can only generate so much just with my arm. Whereas if I'm using a little bit more of my legs, right, my hips, I can start adding a little bit more of those into those shots, right? Tennis is from the ground up. So we start with our legs, go into our knees, our hips, our torso, all the way into lagging it out with our arm. As I go out, I want to make sure I'm all the way out extended, focusing on hitting that sweet spot on that racket or that middle, right? That's going to help me also generate easy power on those shots. As I'm going, right, like I said, here's a couple of examples of me just using just my arm. Coach Matt's going to be helping me feed. If I'm just using just my arm, I can get a really good swing on it. It just doesn't feel as clean as if I were to use my whole body. And like I said, using parts of my body that are right here, using that momentum, that lag, all the way out extended to really generate that force. Using a little bit more of those legs, those arms. And that's how we generate a little bit more power with our body instead of just our arm.
All right, guys, we're now going to be talking about how you can hit your ball deeper in the court. So we'll be working on depth. One crucial key to depth is your net clearance, okay? If you're clearing the net by maybe a foot or two, your ball is going to be landing short or maybe even in the service box. However, if you're clearing the net by 3 to 5 feet, then your ball is going to be pushing deeper into the court, therefore pushing your opponent back, giving you the advantage within the point. Matt's now going to feed me some balls and I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. So this first ball, if I hit low over the net, right, that ball is maybe in the service box. Nice and low through the court, and that ball is right in the service box. My net clearance was maybe about a foot. We're now going to increase the net clearance to maybe 3 to 5 feet, and we'll see how that changes my depth. So again, these balls 3 to 5 feet over the net, and I'm now getting very close to that baseline. That one was spot on baseline. Net clearance is going to be your key. Another tip is pushing through the ball just a little longer. Think about that follow through going straight or up just for another extra second after contact. And that is going to give you your ball the net clearance in order to take the aggression and give you the upper hand. So try hitting higher over the net for more depth in your points. What's up guys, it's Coach Nate. Today we're going to be talking about the doubles net player movement. So as you can see, we have Coach Matt over here. He will be my opponent at the net. And we're going to pretend for this drill that my partner is serving back here, okay? When that serve happens, you want to be as close to the net as possible without touching. That way you have the biggest edge for the most perfect volley right off the serve. One thing to note though, like we said, this is a movement drill. So after the player returns the ball and it goes cross court, let's say I'm not able to play for it. In that moment, I'm going to be scooting back close to the service box. The reason we do this is so that way when my partner hits his ball, if it's not a good cross court and Matt decides to poach, I'm a prime opportunity to return his poach. So we're going to play out a couple points so you can see exactly how this movement works. All right, so as explained previously, Heber will feed a ball in to start the point, and you'll be able to see the movement that you should be doing at the net as the rally is happening. Go ahead, Heber. So as you can see, as we go through this, my attention when I'm pushing up is on mat, and when I'm pulling back, I switch my attention to the net player on Heber's shot. Once I see their net player isn't going for it, that's when I push up. And that is how you should be moving as a doubles partner at the net.
Hey guys, so this drill that we're about to do here is called short court tennis. We play within these boxes, right, the service lines. When we're warming up, we want to warm up our whole body, so we're having a complete swing on that follow through, right? We're not trying to shorten it up. We're not trying to just patty cake it, right? We're trying to get our body a little bit more active with those shots. As we go, we want to focus on getting a lot of topspin on that ball, right? Try not getting so much backspin. When we play out the points, we want to hit back to our forehands and our backhands, right? Not just focusing just on one side. This is kind of what it looks like right here. Nice shot. Once you start feeling really ready with this kind of warm-up drill, you can go ahead and start moving back with that full court, start hitting a little bit more power with those shots. It's a really great way to just kind of warm up that body. You always want to do maybe 10 minutes of this just before you start playing tennis.
All right, my name is Matt and we're doing a cross court drill. The purpose of this is that we can keep the ball going cross court where the net is at the lowest. You played a 10, so 1-0 now. Okay, 9-6. There you go.
So this one's one of my personal favorites. This is called Rally in the Alley. So the whole objective is to keep the rally ball in the doubles alley. It can be on either one, but just making sure that we're practicing on control, right? It really helps those kids be able to stay stable on having one target. So what we'll do, right, is I'll feed it to him. Wow, our goal is to get as many rallies as points as possible. Reminder, keeping it in that doubles alley. This drill isn't about hitting it hard, right? It's about hitting where you want to. But as they get progress and they get better, obviously they can start hitting them harder. Hey, thanks guys for watching.
What's up guys, I'm Coach Nate Hillier with UYT, and today we're going to be cone serving. We have some cones set out here in the corners. This is an excellent drill to make your serve better, as well as more lethal out on the court. That was pretty close, Matt. So with this drill, it's really important you're focusing more on placement over power. You can also adjust where the cones are set out if there's a certain serve you're looking to work on. Oh, that was so close. Oh, it's so close.
I promise you.
Good try, Heber.
Hey guys, it's Coach Heber here. So today we have a drill. We have some cones laid out on the court right here. They're making 2 boxes. Coach Matt over there, his purpose will be to hit the boxes. I'll be feeding it to his forehand and his backhand side, right? Again, focusing on placement over power. As he starts getting better and more aggressive, he can start adding that power into it. A reminder, when we're feeding, We don't want to give him too much of an easy shot. We do want to feed it to him with a little bit more pace. Good. Good. For you coaches, reminder, to be able to get that depth, they got to hit through that ball. So that's something really good to remind the kids, especially with this drill, to be hitting through that ball, keeping those balls deep, really pushing that opponent, trying to get him off that court. Good job, Matt.
What's up, guys? Today we're going to be explaining a really fun tennis game. This game is called King of the Court. How it works is you have at least 2 challengers on one side, followed by your king. For us, that is Coach Matt on the far side. The challengers, they have to win 2 points in a row to take the king side. If the king wins only 1 point, the challengers will switch out and they will keep on playing. It looks a little like this. Here we go. Okay, so I lost that point, so I'll switch out and Heber will hop in and try to dethrone the king. Okay, here we go, round 2. And that is wide. So there is 1. I just need 1 more point to take Matt's spot. Here we go. That is wide. With that done, I will take king side and Matt will now join the challengers. Oh, it's pretty. Out. It's out. Woo! And that is King of the Court. Thank you so much for watching.
All right, I'm Coach Matt, and this next drill that we're gonna be doing is attacking short balls. So me and Heber are gonna be playing out points over here, and when the ball lands inside the service line, you have to approach the net. And the objective of this game is to be more aggressive and to work on getting the net to close out points. All right, so it's 2-0. Good shot. Gosh.
As an editor's note, this game can be played to 10 or whatever you want to. Whenever that ball lands in the service box, you have to approach. All right, what's up, guys? It's Coach Nate, and I'm joined by Coach Heber and Coach Matt on the far end. Today, we're going to be explaining offense-defense. This game can be done in singles or doubles. If you're playing at doubles, you can do full court. Since we're playing singles, though, we're going to keep it half court. The goal of this game is obviously to keep king side. I am on king side. They will be the challengers. The challengers have to win 3 points to take the king side. The first point will be a baseline point. The second point, challengers will come up to the net for a volley. And lastly, the challengers will hit an overhead. I will be feeding out the points, but of course you may have a coach or friend also feeding for you. It looks a little like this. Here we go. Alleys are in, okay? Woo. Okay, so they'll swap out since Heber lost, and now Matt will have a chance. If the king wins, the challengers will switch out. That is just wide. So Heber will switch back in. Woo. Here we go. Oh, good ball, Heber. Okay, so Heber's second point, I will feed a volley and we play out the point. That is wide. Here we go. Oof. Okay, so Matt's up 1. Now he gets the volley point. Ah, good ball. That's 2, which means Matt now gets his overhead feed. If he wins this, he is king. And that's wraps. Just like that, Matt will take king side and Heber will go once again and I'll join the challenger side. So as mentioned, this can be played doubles as well. Matt will be my partner. The same exact rules apply, except now it's full court. If the challengers lose, they will switch out with the next challenger. If they win their 3 points, they will take king side over there.
Hey guys, this next drill is called team singles. With team singles, the way it works is there'll be 2 teams on each side. They'll be playing out singles points. One person will be going at a time on each side. They'll play out the point. If you win the point, you get 1 point, and we'll play to, you can either play to 7 or to 10, however much you want to go. So when we play team singles, like I said, you'll play out the point. If I win the point, I can stay for a max of 3 points. If I lose, I'll just switch out with my partner. So here we go. Oh. So I lost that point, so I'll switch out with Nate. Oh.
Okay, 3-0, 0-3 for Matt. Wide. 1-3.
So now because Nate has scored 3 points, he'll switch out with one of his partners. Oh, that was called team singles. Thanks for watching.